Ladies and gentlemen, YouTubers, welcome to another session of JoJo's GG's. This time we're doing something a little bit different. We're showing the MGA tournament, which took place last weekend, Saturday. And this is Late Nights Team 2 versus NUBTZU. NUBTZU is us. Basically, the reason why I haven't posted any videos last week is we had to grind all the way to Tier 5. On the NA servers, regions. So we basically had to grind through that, and all the way up to Tier 5, all our team, our units, and extra units in case we needed it for spares. So yeah, so basically this is match 1 out of a best of 3, where the one team chooses the map, and then the other team chooses the second map, and if it goes to a final third match decider, it's automatically going to be Capitoline Hill. So we've chosen Rubicon, and we are the red team, the ones you can't see very well right now. So our setup is mostly made of slingers. So on the right side, you can see we've got slingers, we've got some spears, one pike, some cavalry, and javelins. But mostly slingers, really, because on Tier 5, they're really, really strong. Their team is made up of a mixture of 3 separate units. So they have a section with light arty and heavy arty, and then another light arty with Germanicus for testudos and obviously stakes and stuff. So the first engagement, you see our main force is in the middle, fighting against their slingers here. And we're deciding when to push. I have units of the far right up there where the flag is, waiting to push as well. A couple of units are going to try and get a flank, but they're set up into nice 3 separate sections. So at the moment now we're just waiting for the engagement. And I just wanted to thank as well Commander Guts for allowing me to use this footage. So thank you, and I'll put a link in the description to the original video with his live commentary. If you guys want to hear his live commentary. So there I am, Spear.God, with my buddy No One. That would be Hicks. And we are at the moment climbing on the flank. Now we did see some light arty shots from that side, so we did wait a little bit. Now if you look very carefully, we're going actually on the top hill cliff to the left so that we can keep the vision. Mid hasn't pushed yet, but they're all set up, waiting for us to advance. Now, the only disadvantage we had with this particular match was the fact that we had a DC. So after 3 attempts of loading the game, one of our men were down. So we had to get in the sub, but he wasn't available for this match. So we're playing basically with 1 man down for this match here to see how we can perform against Late Nights Team 2. So at the moment, you see, we're just waiting for the opportunity. We've got our cav in mid, kind of scouting away, just having a peek round, and we're just really waiting for the right time to pop. At the moment, the camera is really just looking around, checking around to see, and finally, there you go. He can see our push taking place. So now they've got slingers coming up here. They're going to play really aggressive. They're going to try and eliminate our slingers. Meanwhile, we're taking all kinds of RT hits. Cavalry scouting, but then again, not being able to do much because of all the stakes. Javelins moving up in mid, but the javelins were supposed to have our DC units as protection, the Roman infantry, so he was kind of on his own and didn't have the infantry to protect, so he's not going to do very well. Meanwhile, cavalry is trying to find an opening. You can see from the far distance, we got the spears fighting up there with the archers. We're fighting off an elephant, so it's taking up a lot of time. See, they've got elephants as well. So the cavalry is going to come in here, and he's going to get a charge, but obviously he hits the spears. The slingers quickly go hide behind the stakes and into the testudo. Now, here's a really unfortunate exchange. Now, it's 3 slingers versus 2, but they are hiding within testudo, so that blocks most of the shots, whereas we've got mostly spears. There's not much we can do. Unfortunately, that trade isn't working out too well. Now, we tried to squeeze our cavalry through just to see what we can do. And that will be Sunzu Owo, also known as Hazu. And so this main force in the middle here, you can see the javelins about to get caught out because they didn't have the infantry to defend. They were, in fact, our DC units. So we have Magic, who's also Sunzu Nubgoose, trying to control 6 units at the moment. I'm on the far end with the archers. See, the javelins still alive, but they did take a hit, and they're trying to get up to the main RT piece. So we were going to try and push together. We got caught up at the top left corner of the map, you can see, of the screen. Meanwhile, the slingers have completely died, and they still have very much loads alive, even though it's 3 versus 2, because they're hiding in testudo, unfortunately. So the javelins keep pushing up in mid because they really want to get to that artillery, but with and they're obviously playing the stakes, but there you go. Okay, so now we finally killed the elephant on top. We're moving on to that artillery piece at the top. That's our main goal. We want to eliminate that and potentially the slingers. The javelins kind of moving up in place here, but because this infantry that's lagging behind is not being controlled by anyone because it's a DC, the javelins will get cut out by that cavalry charge, and bam, that's it. That was a second charge into him, and that pretty much eliminates him. So as a first match, it's not really going too well, but it's the first time we meet this opponent and see their kind of play style. So hopefully we can make it up in the second one if we lose this one, which it kind of looks like we are. We're already men down of 790 versus 580. Here we are with the left flank pushing with only 2 players, but we're fighting against slingers and we're trying to take out the light arty in the same time now. Orwell tries to do a very good job, keep the slingers busy, keep rotating around so we can shoot in the backs. Meanwhile, I keep telling our archer player, try and hide up there, because if you can hide, you can get away from vision, so they don't really see that well. But obviously, the light arty hiding in the testudo, or slingers in testudo, makes it extremely difficult to do anything really, really good. So now here we go. So we got the cavalry unit and one of the infantry fighting against infantry here, but they're just going to get charged by the cow shortly. I think he's waiting for the right opportunity. Here, there's a pike that blocked us up there, but unfortunately there isn't much we can do. We're already loads of men down. The javelins have died, which was our main force to attack. It took too long to get rid of those elephants in the elephant in the top left corner, and there you go. That'll be the end of the javelins. And now we're left with elephants and units in stakes. That will be light arty, slingers, and everything. So we got Nubgoose trying to do what he can as magic, really trying to take out the slingers, but we still have lots more to deal with, unfortunately. We do have units in the base trying to cap, but obviously all it takes is one little decap and that's it. Boom. They've lost the capping advantage. So we did try and form a few different strats, push hard from the mid, couple units on the left flank, because it worked quite well for us in some of the earlier matches, and in the link in the description you'll be able to find more about it. So at the moment it's not looking very good for us, and this is the final match, best of 3. Left flank still pushing. We're really trying to see maybe we can crawl and steal a victory from this, but it just doesn't seem to be working out too well. One of the javelins left alive, running away from the elephants, but they still have lots of infantry, lots of artillery left, and obviously the cavalry can't do much because of the stakes that have been laid right here. So now, yeah, really, it's just a slow, very, very slow and painful death on the first match. But they played really, really well, Late Night's team 2. They really thought their unit composition through, and the strategies surrounding that, separating into different groups that can attack from different flanks, and really, really caught us off guard. So if anything, you know, well played to them for this game. At the moment, we're trying to eliminate all the light arty as possible. So we're going to try and take that middle point over here. Unfortunately, this is where the infantry come back. They're going to go back into testudo. They do have some extra spears with slingers, and at the moment it's 427 to 285. So there isn't much that we can do at this point. We're just trying to really take as much as we can with us, maybe get a lucky few engagements. And there you go. So at this point, we do have some archers left, some spears with some infantry, and there are stakes. What are we going to do? We got some pikes. They do have elephants. We could take the elephants out with the pikes, but they've got light arty shooting at us from the top. And they also, oh, here come the cavalry, is just going to finish off the archers as well. So yeah, I mean, unfortunately, my spears were a little bit too late to get in the back of the archers and protect them from the cavalry. I then decided to make a move. We're going to have to push through these stakes one way or another. We've got a couple of elephants coming in now. We do not have any more javelins to deal with it. We got a few infantry, but they won't be able to do much. The pike, that one pike unit, sure, he might be able to do something, but he's a little bit busy now. Yeah, so we're in an engagement now where, you know, the pikes are about to get surrounded. Some infantry doing what they can to kind of protect the backs of the pike unit. So our spears on the right there were protecting the archers that are pretty much dead, and there they are with their slingers, light arty, and infantry all behind the stakes. sitting back and really just going to town with the units. That's a really nice pike phalanx into the enemy infantry, and they did ping it as well. But yeah, I mean, we are they have 370 to our 190, but bear in mind there are casters, so take off 100 from each side. There's my spear phalanx that had gone through the stakes because I needed to take out their testudo so we could at least shoot them with something. But with what? We got so little archers left, you know? So it's not looking very good for this match, this first match out of a best of 3. But there are 3 games where we have the opportunity to really give it our all, really try our best when it comes to attempting to win this tournament. So I mean, the first matches that we did perform very well. We won every single one. So best of 3s, we won with 2 victories straight in a row. However, this is obviously the final, the toughest team. They made it all the way to the top, and now it's our turn to try and claim victory from them. If we can. Obviously the pikes are going to rout now there, and it's a slow and a very painful death. But I mean, you can kind of see the way the strategies have developed, what their team is like and what our team composition is like. This is the first match, and they've set up into 3 groups, one with a little bit of light arty, some slingers, and obviously some Germanicus with testudo. They do have cavalry as well, but it's mainly focused on that longer range, and they're hiding behind the stakes, using that to really try and protect your range units as long as possible. So at the moment it's just cleanup time, and the match is about to end. But lesson learned. We're going to be going into video 2 in 1 second. There's only the pikes and a few spears left. So we did have a DC, so we'll be bringing in our sub, and it'll be a full team of 7 versus 7 this time. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens in game 2. So I hope you enjoyed this first match. I kind of jumped right into it. I've been trying to record this for a little while now, but I just didn't really find the time to actually do it well. And in match 2, you'll see a little bit of a change, because now we know their team composition, hoping they're going to keep it so we can actually plan for it. But now the first time we've met them, we've seen their team composition, kind of what it looks like. We can't think that they would change much from it. But yeah, I mean, anything they would change, they would have to give away one of their like little sections or flanks. It would kind of fall apart. If you got rid of the light arty, what would you take? Infantry instead? Then it would just be an infantry force, a melee force. They wouldn't have the long range. If they got rid of the slingers or added more range, then it would be a more mobile force, but they then would lose the artillery. So yeah, so there it is. Me calling it GG, and the game is over for match 1 out of a best of 3. That would be NUBTZU versus Late Nights Team 2. Okay, we're back with match 2. So this time we're playing on their map, the map that Late Nights Team 2 chose, which is Oasis. And this time we've kind of been against them once, so we know what to expect. So our plan is, with our main force, to go up to the hill. We were in a side flanking force to take kind of mid-spot and the left side of this map. So when we spawn, it'll be on the right when the match actually starts. Now, first we wanted to kind of play on the points. So if we get a few points, pick off a few early cav units, then we can force them out maybe of their like positions where they have their stakes and everything, and make them forced to put new stakes elsewhere. Anyway, so we send the cavalry to the right flank through the high grass, and this game is all going to be about vision. Vision is key. So he moves up first, and immediately he gets spotted by the slingers, I believe. Yeah, so volley takes a volley here. He does manage to countercharge and hurt the cav really bad, but he knows he can't stay there for very long. Meanwhile, we're pushing on the hill, as you can see from the distance, and we're sending 1 spear, 1 slingers this time. This time we have the archers that have gone with the hill, and the slingers have gone on the long side. So we've swapped around what I'm taking care of. So I'm with Deslas this time instead of no one. That'll be Hicktucks. So they're on the top here. They do see the elephants, but not really much at the moment. The elephant is probably just there for scouting, really. So they're trying to kind of go round, maybe deny, because they do have the javelins. They can kill them quite quickly. But we do have Solo Boy coming as a replacement instead of Saman, who was our DC for last game. So we do have a full team of 7 this time. So at the moment here, we're pushing through the high grass. Now here's quite an interesting example of how to play tactics. We know they have an elephant in the high grass. We know that if we move forward, the elephant will give vision on the slingers shooting us right now. There you go. See? So if we move forward, we not only have an elephant to deal with, but we have the slingers to deal with as well. So we decide to back off and wait for the opportunity for the elephant to leave, or maybe take a different angle. So there you go. We have that's what we're doing on that side. Elephant's trying to take down the javelin's trying to take down the elephants as quick as they can, but obviously they're being shot by artillery in the distance. Unfortunately, the elephant does a really, really bad move, which is to turn and show his back to the javelins. He should not have done that. He should have carried on. Obviously, they're the pikes, but this just means he'll get eliminated instantly. So now that one of their elephants out of the 3 has been eliminated, we can see their middle force they're forming. So it looks like they have a very, very similar composition. We didn't think they would change it that much because it looked like it was all set up as a good all-rounder. But there they are, with the light arty in the middle, with the slinger. They have a pike this time, with the Germanicus infantry. So our main force flank is moving down. What's really, really interesting about this is our main force, with only 2 units and a bit of cav, has all gone in one direction. So they're fighting our main force. I'd say 80% of the units, 85%, are fighting against about 65% of theirs in terms of just unit count and player count. So we're at a clear advantage on this side here. Now, I've even sent one of my units there, the spears coming through the high grass as well. So instantly we're going to kill one of their pikes here, and the elephant won't be able to do that much. Meanwhile, on the other flank, we are planning, as you can see in the distance, we're planning to go through that little grass area there, and we're trying to see if we can flank around the side. So this is the main force, really, trying to eliminate as much as we can. We haven't taken too many losses yet. This time we're on the blue team, so it's 830 to 805. We have a slight advantage, let's say. Slingers have taken a pretty decent hit. Their elephant is running away from the javelins. Here comes that volley. And there we go. See, now what I've signaled on there, which is quite interesting, I've signaled one spear to go forward through the high grass to spot the units. Then the slingers can get out of our high grass so we can move in. So we have vision advantage. Vision is key when you're playing in a tournament. Anyways, so the cavalry is trapping the slingers, and my spears managed to get in there, and so they were stuck between a rock and a hard place. So slingers are taking a big beating. The artillery doesn't seem to be doing that much. Maybe he's just controlling his infantry, trying to stay alive. I don't know why he disassembled or just ran away, really. There you go. So he's reassembled back in the base, which is probably not the best thing to do. He had to remove it instantly. And now we're moving forward towards their base, and we're pinging to defeat their stragglers, the ones that are being held out. So in the distance, you can see the spear work being done with these slingers having moved back in the high grass, but there's no elephant there this time. The elephant's on the left corner of your screen now. He's come back to support this main team, but we do have pikes and we do still have the javelins. We're also being shot by the slingers that were on the our far right side, or their left side, right over there, being pinged really, really hard. So now this force here is up against an even force. So we really need to bring those units in the far left corner. They need to come back and support, which is what they're doing. They're on the way there to come and support kind of the main force here. Oh, so the cavalry charges bottom left corner of your screen, eliminates the RT. That gives us a slight advantage still, but they're still holding on quite well if you consider that we're 200 men down, but the numbers are still fairly even. So now at the moment, we're hopefully going to finish off that light arty in the corner. Yes, it will get near eliminated, and all the Germanicus infantry will be forced to come out and fight. Once these javelins go to work, that's really key. Keeping these javelins alive, whereas in the last one they didn't, really makes the difference between winning or losing a game like this when you're dealing with artillery, testudo, hardline defense with stakes. And there you go. The archers get caught out a little bit by the cavalry, but hopefully they don't lose too many men. We do still have the advantage, but having these units on the flank forces them to turn around and kind of sandwiches them. Now here's a really, really interesting move. So watch the cavalry on your left, dodges the elephant, comes through the stakes, hits it at a side angle, and goes straight into the slings. But not only that, if you watch our slings over there with the spear, you see the cavalry coming in. The spears on the left are going to quickly go into a phalanx and boom, stop them. So 2 key moments where 1, we got their slings, and 2, we protected our slings, where it could have gone the other way. We could have missed their slings and lost our slings. That could have completely changed the way this battle, this little engagement on this side of the map ended up. So at the moment, really, with all those Germanicus infantry and forcing them to have to engage with our infantry, the javelins can finally go to work. And once, if you've ever played javelins or in a team with javelins or even against javelins in a team, you'll know that if you have only Germanicus really and no real range to defeat the javelins or cavalry, then you're in trouble. Basically, you're in very big trouble. Spears and Caesar javelins are a very deadly combo. So the infantry's trying to flank around there, but right now the light artillery is just getting picked off because they don't have their Germanicus to defend anymore. All they have is all they have are their stakes, but they can't stay in their stakes because the slingers will then kill them. So they're forced to move out and use the cliffs as hiding. But then obviously then there's a cav that can get them. So completely out of place, and looks like we are going to be taking game 2, which is an incredible morale buff, one would say, and I was incredibly proud with our team. We performed really, really well in this, really strong. Took the time, didn't push too far on the other flank, and they took their time to really go on the hill and kind of work together, move as one team. And when they got that down there, they just completely stomped anything that was in there. So it was really, really strong work from the entire team. And thanks to good teamwork, we now have taken a game. So it's 1-1, and we're going to be moving into the final game of this MGA tournament of Late Nights versus NUBTZU. And the map is Capitoline Hill. And we're back with round 3, match 3 of this final of the MGA tournament. So on the first map, as you've seen, so this is Capitoline Hill. First map, it was Rubicon, where they had a really strong kind of 3-pronged defensive position with the stakes of Testudo, the artillery, and the slingers. 2 sets of slingers. That would be 2 slings, 1 spear. Second thing, they chose the Oasis map. This time, we really pushed hard on them. So we kind of even things out a bit now. And we're not really sure what they're going to do. Now, we thought that they were going to camp onto the main watchtower point, because Capitoline Hill, that watchtower point is key if you want to do really, really well. So we're watching it back again from Late Night's perspective. And what you can notice right away, excuse me for that, what you can notice right away is they're setting units up in the mid, but they're setting artillery units on the left and the right. Now, unfortunately, I think that's a really, really big mistake. Sure, they can get angles from either side, especially with the light RT and the heavy RT. But we know this map very, very well. We've trained hard at this map, and we know that there is a specific spot on Capitoline Hill where they have right there. You can't see them. For example, if you look across to where the flag is, you can't see the top of it. You can't see what's on there. However, if you get your units up the first set of steps, you then see on top of that. So our first attempt is to push really, 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 really hard in mid, catch them off guard. So I'm sending a unit up there right now. They're trying to set stakes on the low side, but I don't think they realize that once I get my unit on those steps right in front of the stakes, I can see all their men up there. Meanwhile, their artillery's on the sides, not really knowing what to do. Maybe they should have, regrouped more and focused more on the mid. Anyways, we now have double slingers. That's the comp we've chosen in this map. And bam, my spears are now on top. And as soon as they're there, our slingers have vision. We signal to go. Our cavalry unit goes round the back and attempts to pin the units down. All our slingers are firing now with full force. Their light artillery takes a huge hit now. We had a little disadvantage, if you can... we didn't really have a little disadvantage. They have a disadvantage now. They're already down about 30 power... balance of power. And at the moment, their light artillery is not really knowing what to do on that side. The artillery on the other end. You see, now they're retreating. The slings are already half dead, almost. And the light RT2. And we are literally in the center area, working as a team. The entire NUBTZU team is at the center, whereas they only have about a third of their units, maybe a bit more, 45% of all their units are on that hill. Yet we have vision on that hill, so they do not have an advantage. Sure, they do have pikes, and they do have Testudo, Germanicus, and that cavalry in the back is really denying their retreat as well, making it tricky for them to go anywhere else. So a nice pronged, timed attack. And at this point in time, I was signaling to my team, we need more units round back. We really need to trap them. However, we were in such a strong position with that much infantry. We did have the javelins. We were thinking, okay, let's just keep them here and let's see if we can eliminate, like, for example, the pikes who took a decent volley there. More cav fighting around the back. We seem to be eliminating their cav slowly but surely. They do have artillery over there stationed around the back. So it looks like they had light artillery on the top, slingers on the left. On the right side, light artillery and heavy artillery at the back of their base. So they were into 4 different sections, really. Obviously, with the stakes defense. We're just in the center. We're circling because we still have that spear on the top. We only took half damage. But now they've completely abandoned the top. You see that hill point, which is usually the strongest points to hold. They have abandoned it because we see them. And this is why vision is so key in a map like this. But now it really comes to a point where they have to attack us. Because we've eliminated quite a few men. We have about 50 balance of power advantage. Their slingers are shooting us from afar, but they're sending their elephant, you see, is dying very, 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 very quickly. With 6 slings and 3 javelins, with a lot of spears and the pike. Like, their elephant just died instantly. They do have the infantry. That pike is moving forward, but if you saw what happened to that pike, he just took a huge amount of damage. Right, so now they're sending their infantry coming in. From up the ramp there, the cavalry charges in over there, does catch the javelins a little bit, knocks them down, and the pike phalanx comes down to try and trap those javelins. They do have a few slingers shooting, but unfortunately the javelins, most of them do get out of there. The infantry's trying to come in, so we send the spears down there to kind of hold them off. They charge in through. Pike's really not sure what to do. They're trying to find their way around, get the best angle to use these pikes. There is an elephant over there as well, so they will meet up later on. So at the moment, we're just trying to hold. We have a lot of range in the back. If they get hurt, if like a by-cav charge, that's it. We're done for. We will lose so many men. I mean, we could probably survive, but it'll be a lot harder. Javelin's still alive. 6 slingers. You can see we're always circling a couple of spears around there just to make sure that if anything does come, they can go right through the phalanx and wall. But unfortunately, the infantry come through. Now they're going straight to our ranged units. So we need to reorganize our infantry. So at the moment, we've got 3 at the back. That one at the bottom right of Nubgoose. He's trying to retreat. So now we got 2 out of our 3 spear infantry trying to hold down the units there. And there is 1 spear infantry guarding 9 units. That's why we also have the cav round back watching for that. You got the main Germanicus infantry fighting on the near the steps. And as you can see, obviously, the elephant getting completely decimated by the pikes. It's amazing what one pike can do. Yet here you go, the slings are coming around trying to find an angle, and you can see the cavalry on the right side of the map with the elephant. But watch that cavalry round there. He's going to try something really, really sneaky. So at this point, those units on the back, the far end of the map, slingers and 1 spear, they're not really sure what to do. They're coming in close, they're shooting volleys, but they can't really make it up the hill to commit, because once they're on that ramp, the slings can't do much. That cavalry is going to really, really try his chances. So we've eliminated all their infantry now in the center. They pushed really hard to get our range, but the javelins were just too well protected. And because we had vision on that top tower, there was not much they can do. Good work on the cavalry as well for getting that heavy arty, because I do remember they did squeeze through and get to the stakes. So now here comes the cavalry round the back. Most of the infantry is focused forward. We do have a men advantage, but we're being shot from that side there, and all of the other flank is completely gone. So that's really what's left. We could seriously just push straight for the base now. Probably something we could have done a little while ago. But we really wanted to stay together, focus on that teamwork. But here comes the moment. So the cavalry's going to come down, try and finish it off, but take some shots from the slingers pretty hard. And the spears round back on the far left, they're just trying to spot the cavalry. And then we have lots of slings here, and then so we make a call: spears and slings, go to base, go cap. The rest of you guys stay here and defend. So we got those three slings, but unfortunately we got a spear out of position. Watch that cav on the left. He's going to come in, and this is beautiful play by our slinger player, Desilas. We spot the cav, and we say, okay, you need to charge. You need to get out of there. And here he comes, if you watch to the left of the screen, and he charges away, moves one out of the way, and completely dodges the cavalry charge and gets caught by the spears. Well, dodges most of it, but there's a really good dodge there for the cavalry when we could have lost a lot more. So out of this best of 3, where the first map we were completely caught off guard on Rubicon, we got our shit together, and fought on Oasis, which is the map they've chosen, they've probably trained on. And we definitely showed them the force they could do, but they definitely showed us as well. I mean, they were a really competent team. And then finally on the last map, Capitoline Hill, what really made the difference between us winning or losing this one, sure, it was teamwork, but the main thing was information, was knowledge. Knowledge is key. Knowledge is power. The more that you can learn, commanders, when you play Arena, about where gives you vision, what gives you vision, how much of the map can you see from where you are, the better you will perform on a battle, either as an individual solo player or in a team. Vision is key, not just the towers, but where you place yourself and where are you denying the enemy vision. Those are other things to think about as well. But this is the final of the MGA tournament, NA tournament. The reason why I didn't post a video last week, because we were grinding to play this, and thanks for the invitation from the MGA guys and Commander Guts for letting me use this footage. And there you go. So NUBTZU won the MGA tournament. So I hope you enjoyed these videos, guys, and hope it was interesting to watch. By all means, you can watch the live commentary from Commander Guts, and I'll put a link in the description, as I said. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye for now.